What is up, you guys? I am covering green-blue Zoro Sanji today. This is one of my favorite decks of all time, and it has some really great support that is just kind of accumulated over the last few sets. This deck puts a ton of pressure on your opponent and is able to keep so many cards in its hand. It's actually nuts. So without further ado, let's just get right into the replay. This is made possible by duelvoyager.com. It is a fantastic new site, guys. You can watch and see replays, spectate live matches. It's fantastic. Go ahead and check it out. Now, I am up against Red Blue Ace, and my opponent went first, and they were able to drop 2 searchers down, and I didn't really have anything that I wanted to see right away. I was able to get down my 2-cost blocker, but other than that, I don't even have a good 4-Dawn turn, so I just stack all 4 Dawn onto my leader and just attack them. And luckily I do get them to take a life card, but they do just get to draw from their leader's effect. And then I just pass it over to them. Still not a big board, which is a problem because the whole point is that I'm bouncing back my characters to be able to restand my characters to attack extra times. So they drop a Yamato and they're able to draw 2 more cards. So they have a massive hand already, and I just have to discard to save my life here because I'm a little worried about him just putting a ton of pressure on me next turn with his Yamato and his leader. So I get a Cavendish, and I'm happy about that, and I'm just going to attack him and make him discard a card, and then throw my Cavendish down. Now, so this will be the basis for my plays on my following turns. Hopefully, I'll be able to get something smaller on the field, and then keep restanding this Cavendish, drawing the extra cards, and putting extra pressure on my opponent's life. So when they attack, I'm going to counter out basically as often as I can, although their leader's at 8,000 power right now, so I will just take that one. And then on my turn, I don't have a ton of options, but I do want to get a ton more cards in my hand, and my opponent just shuffled their hand a bunch of times. So hold on, let's just get through this. So I attach a Dawn onto my Cavendish, and then draw 2, discard 1. I had a million carrots in my hand. It was pretty crazy. So I attack into their Yamato. I'm really hoping to get it off of the field because they're going to be able to put a ton of pressure on me next turn. So they counter out, which I'm fine with. I drop my own Yamato to draw 2 more cards. This will really help with my defense coming up. And then I attach 2 Dawn onto my leader, and then I bounce my Yamato back to hand. This was just so I'd get an extra attack out. Normally, I would like to play anything else smaller, but it just didn't really work out like that. So I do restand my Cavendish after attacking with my leader, and they counter out again. So I attach my last Dawn onto Cavendish and swing 8 into 6, and he counters out again. I was pretty disappointed, and I felt like I was cooked already, but you gotta always persist and just see how the game goes. So he throws down a Marco blocker, which is just such a good card. He's able to draw 3 cards basically when it gets KO'd. Now he attacks me, and I block this one. So now he attaches Dawn onto his Yamato and attacks me again. And I have enough cards in my hand that I'm able to counter out of this. And then he attacks me one more time, and I feel pretty much compelled to take this. I don't have any other 2Ks in my hand, so I'll just add this one. And I was actually really happy that it was a Vanderdecken. This guy is absolutely insane. He's able to pop anything your opponent controls as long as it's rested. So I'm going to make a ton of great use out of this card. So the first thing I do, though, is I do attach a Dawn onto my Cavendish, and then use the effect, draw 2, discard 1, and then I attack the Yamato again, and I do get it off the field. I'm very happy about that. The reason I chose to attack before I dropped the Vanderdecken was to maybe make him feel a little secure that, oh, I can let this one go because I still have the Zoro, but no, you do not. Zoro is now gone. So this card is so fantastic for removing these massive threats that are otherwise really hard to get over. Now, I do attach the Dawn onto my leader, just bounce that Vanderdecken back to hand, and then I attack with my leader, and then I attack with Cavendish again. Just so fantastic. And then to top it off, I'm able to play down a blocker as well. So I'm able to draw 3 more cards, put 2 back, fix my hand a little bit, get more of those carrots out of my hand. I just had so many of them. And now my opponent, they are on their first 10 Dawn turn, so they do play down the Newgate. They're able to draw 2, and then discard 1. So they attach 2 Dawn to their leader and one of their characters, and then they attack me, and they're shuffling their hand again. So I block, and then give him a 2k and a 1k, basically just preserving another card in my hand. Now, I draw another Vanderdecken, which is pretty funny, but in any case, it's just a good fishman that I can discard. So I was thinking of putting some Dawn onto my Cavendish, but then I decided against it, and I just attacked his leader for 6, getting 2 cards into my hand, and then discarding 1. Now here, I take the opportunity to get another blocker onto the field, and again, I'm able to draw 3 and put 2 back. So I put back the 2 Rushed Aces because I have the 7-cost Hody Jones in my hand, which will be a much more powerful rush card. So I play down the Yamato for my other 5 Dawn, getting 2 more cards into my hand, putting a Dawn into my leader, and then I choose not to use its effect actually, and then I just get basically another card out of my opponent's hand. So here they throw down another Newgate, which I was pretty disappointed about, and they're able to draw 2, discard another event, and then they attach Dawn again, attack me again. I discard and block. Technically should have done it the other order, but it is what it is. And then they are a little scared and they don't attack again. Now, I was pretty happy about that. So I'm just attacking with my Cavendish again, drawing 2, and then I discard the Hody Jones. I was a little disappointed I drew the second one because I knew I was going to discard it off of Cavendish, which would reveal to him that I play Hody Jones, and I had one in my hand that I didn't want. So that might say, hey, I have a second one in my hand. But I mean, I don't think you can play around it anyway, although it definitely did telegraph a later turn. So I attack him, get another card out of his hand, attack him again, get another card out of his hand, and then I play down the Brook to rest one of his Newgates. I could have done this last turn, but I was worried about my defense, so I decided not to do it last turn. So this turn though, I do rest one of his Newgates, and then use my leader to bounce the Brook back to my hand, because I want to play down this Vanderdecken and pop his Newgate as well. So I get a bunch of attacks in first though, and then I do throw it down. I discard the other Vanderdecken, and then that's about it. So I'll just pass it over to my opponent. I have a ton of cards in my hand, plus I have 2 blockers, and I didn't know that they had a Roger. So that was pretty unfortunate. They definitely could have just thrown it down, and I think they might have been able to win the game because I counter out of 6 twice with my 2 2Ks, and then I'm not quite able to counter out of 12, and then my last life card would basically have to be a 2K if I were to survive this. But my opponent assumed that, hey, I have tons of cards in my hand, I could definitely have quite a few 2K counters, so they decided to play it a little bit safer, and they throw down their Yamato and a Marco blocker. So they're putting pressure on me still, making me get rid of cards in my hand, and they definitely felt safe with 3 blockers. So they do attack me a few times. I just get rid of a ton of cards in my hand because I didn't really need them anymore. And then this turn is actually pretty nuts. So I throw down the Hody Jones. I add the last life card, which was not a 2K counter. So I feel like I definitely would have lost if he threw down his Roger. And then I rest both of his Marco blockers to not give him the chance to get any extra cards in his hand. So now I'm just swinging low, because in order to stop them, he'll have to discard 1 card no matter what. So he's able to discard here. I attack again, and then he actually just scoops it up. He has 3 bricks in his hand and a blocker, and I had 7 attacks. So it was going to be over even if he did have the counters, and I was able to squeeze out this win. So that was a great duel. Let's just hop right into the next one. For the second game, I was up against Vegapunk, which I was a little worried about because they're able to put a ton of pressure on me right away. And if I don't have a good board established, I probably won't be able to get my hand established or my defenses established either. So let's just see how this goes. So my first turn, I just throw down the 2-cost blocker. It's about all I can do. And then my opponent, they use their leader's effect to actually gain a life card, which I think is a little incorrect. In Vegapunk, you just want to play down characters as often and as quickly as possible. So I'm basically going to just try to counter this Shaka in the life by not attacking his life for as long as I can manage. Now he attacks with his Lilith, and I just counter out, because you could definitely get a lot bigger swings going on later, so I want to hold on to my life if I can manage it. Now I play down my Vivi, which is such a powerful card because I'm able to draw 2 and then just keep bouncing it back every single turn if I wanted to. This turn I choose not to though, and I also didn't want to attack his leader. I should have definitely attacked his Lilith, I just forgot about that. I was too much in the mindset of wanting to starve him from his life cards. So in any case, on his turn, he uses his leader again, of course, and plays down his Lilith. And he does not have 2 or less life, so he does not draw 1. Very happy about that. And then he attaches some Dawn cards and then swings at my leader. So I just take that one, and then I'm able to counter out of the Lilith. So back on my turn, I draw another Cavendish. So with 2 bricks in my hand, I definitely want to try to get one out of my hand. So first I'll just attack over his Lilith and then attach 2 Dawn to my leader and try to get over the other one, which he protects, which definitely makes sense, before I drop my Cavendish just to get that brick out of my hand and help cycle my hand and draw extra cards on the next turn. Now, my opponent uses their Leader's Effect to play down their 5-cost Vegapunk, which is just such a fantastic card, and they're able to get out their Atlas, which actually is not going to be protected by battle anymore because he has 3 life cards and I now have 2. So he attacks my character and my life and then throws down an S-Snake, and I really thought they were going to get another life card, but they chose not to. They were just throwing it down to get an extra body on the field. So my plan here is also to just fill up my field. I throw down the 6-cost Brook to rest his Vegapunk, and then I'm able to use my Vivi to attack over it. It just feels so free because he has 0 power. And then I attack with my Cavendish, draw 2 first, discard 1, and then get over his Lilith, use my leader to attack their other Lilith, bouncing my Vivi and restanding my Cavendish, and getting the other one off the field as well. I felt like I was in a really commanding position all of a sudden. My opponent draws another S-Snake, and then they use their Leader's Effect to put their Rayquaza Help on the top of their life. So that was really unfortunate for me. It was really good for them. They're going to be able to play their 5-cost Vegapunk back from the trash as soon as I attack their life. So they attack me, and I decide to block here, and then they attack again, and I was a little slow. I was thinking about it, so they just played down their character, but I do discard 3 1k counters for this S-Snake attack. I chose to do that because I had the cards in my hand, and I really didn't want to go down to 1 life and tempt him to start attacking me more, or if he has the 9-cost Bonnie, I felt like I could just get screwed by that, so I wanted to keep the extra life card as a bit of insulation. So I play down my Vanderdecken, and I'm able to get rid of his S-Snake before I attack with my Cavendish into his Atlas. Now, once that leaves the field, I'm feeling pretty good. I just throw down my Vivi, I draw 2 more cards, and then I throw down my Nami, drawing 3 more cards, and then putting 2 back. So I don't attack again with my leader because I don't want to just give him the 5-cost Vegapunk, which could then just put another card on the field, and he could just then start attacking me a whole lot more. So he does attack. I use my blocker and a 2k, and then there's the Bonnie. So I take the life card. He attacks my blocker though, which I was actually pretty happy about because I was worried with 0 life I'd just be kind of screwed afterwards. So he passes it over to me, and I draw Hody Jones, which is very nice. So I'm going to throw a Dawn onto my Cavendish and basically just try to attack over this S-Snake, and he lets it go. I thought he would because he was just letting all of his other character cards go, and he only had 1 card in his hand, so it was basically going to be screwed no matter what. But now I'm able to put a little bit of pressure on my opponent here. I do let him play back his Vegapunk. I did this because I have another Brook in my hand, which I play down and rested again, and then I attack with my Vivi to get over it, and then I play down the Vanderdecken, pop the Bonnie, and then I just attack with Brook again just to get an extra life card out of there. I was feeling comfortable that even with 2 attacks I'd be able to counter out of 1 of them, and then I risk it a little bit. I was really hoping he wouldn't find something that could play itself, and he didn't, so I was happy about that. I pass it back over to him, and basically I'm just hoping he doesn't have another Bonnie. There's definitely a few things that he could have drawn that would just like win him the game, but I got lucky, he didn't have a Bonnie, he didn't have that life card that was a trigger, so he throws down his Kuma to try to get another life card, as well as using his leader's effect, which is another Rayquaza help. So I just know that another Vegapunk's coming down. I'll have to deal with that again later, but now he just stacks Dawn and attacks my Cavendish, and I want to keep as many attacks on the field as possible, so I do counter out of this one. He doesn't attack with the Shaka, of course that makes sense. So now I basically think that I have enough to go for game because I have these 2 Brooks as well, which can restand anything, giving me 2 extra attacks, and my leader gives me an extra attack as well. So first I'll just attack with my Cavendish, draw some extra cards, and then get him to use his Vegapunk. And I was hoping that it wasn't a blocker, because if it was a blocker, we might have some problems, but it's just a Lilith, so he adds just a 2k counter. That's perfectly fine. Now I throw down the Hody Jones, I rest both of his blockers, and then I attack for 6, and he takes it, so I attack for 6 again, and he counters out, and then I attack for 9, and he takes it, and then he actually got a trigger, so he plays it down, but that's not going to be enough, so I use my Brook, restand Hody Jones, attack again, and he counters out. So he actually scooped, but I was going to use my other Brook, restand my Hody Jones again, and then I could even throw the Dawn onto my leader, attack again, restanding my Cavendish, and attack again. So I had a huge amount of firepower on my side of the field. It was really crazy, and just goes to show you how explosive this deck is. So this is what the deck looks like. I have so much fun whenever I play this, and I know it may look a little weird with a bunch of 3-ofs and whatnot, but you have a lot of searching and drawing going on, so I do like the variety. And basically my game plan is usually to go second, because I do want to see that 3-cost VV in my hand, and if you want to play it down early, you'll basically have to counter out of an attack. So that's why I like going second, but going first isn't even bad in this deck either, because it feels like you can put extra pressure on your opponent, and you hit some extra curves with things like your 5-cost Yamato a little faster as well. But yeah, the name of the game is drawing a ton of cards, and also just popping everything your opponent has. The 4-cost Megalo is cool because you can throw it down to pop something and then just bounce it right back. But the star of the show is, of course, Vanderdecken, who combos super well with Brook because you can just rest anything and then pop anything. And then Brook also lets you restand your cards, so I just love this guy so much. And Hody Jones is obviously just such a great pair for it, and that's why I play the Kawamatsu as well, just because he's a Fishman, so you can discard him off of Vanderdecken. And I also do play the Macro Gang because he's another Fishman that you can discard to use Vanderdecken's effect. It's just important to have extra Fishmen to be able to use. And Arlong is a great card for that as well, because your opponent doesn't always want to attack over him, and when they do, you can stun 2 of their cards. But really importantly, you can basically just give your leader a free Dawn card every single turn with him, so he's really useful on the field. Your leader can set back anything as active as long as it has 7,000 power or less, so you can get double freezes with Carrot. You unfortunately can't draw twice with Cavendish, but you can still use its effect and set him back, which I do all the time. And honestly, so many times I find myself just playing down Sprona early on, and then my opponent gets rid of some of my other cards, so I just stack 3 Dawn onto her, and then bounce something and attack with her twice. It doesn't sound very good on paper, but it's actually pretty good at just getting more cards out of your opponent's hand. And then once you do that one time, they're like, wait a second, that's not okay, and they just attack over it, usually burning like their leader swing or something, so she also just takes the heat off of your leader, which is really nice. Mihawk is really great because he can play things like your Cavendish or your Arlong, but also he can play Vivi, which is really important because if you have 7 cards in your hand, you can play down the Mihawk and then play down the Vivi, and then you have 5, so you can use the Vivi effect. He's honestly really important for that, besides the fact that he's able to just get something else onto the field, and then he's a great card that you can just bounce back to your hand to restand that thing that he played down. I could just go on and on about this deck. The last card I'll really talk about is the 6-cost Ace. He's just a really great random addition to the deck, it feels like. Definitely not built for this deck, and you're never really going to want to use the bounce effect. I mean, sometimes it could come up, but mostly he just is a 7,000 power body that has Rush that gives a Dawn to your leader, so you can attack twice for 7 out of nowhere. I really like him, but if you want to play another copy of Brook and another copy of Hody Jones, I would not blame you at all. So that about wraps things up. If you want to check out this list, I left a link in the description below. But thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. My favorite place to play One Piece online is duelvoyager.com. It is the best place to practice your deck. It's so easy to share lists, share replays, even just watch people who are playing currently if you're just at work and bored. And I'm on there all the time, so there's a good chance you can play against me too. If you are interested in challenging me, or if you want to play in an online tournament, go ahead and join my Discord. I left a link in the description. I host one every single week. They're completely free to join, and I'm trying to get massive tournaments going, and for that, I need your help. So go ahead and join. We just love to see you there. But anyway, if you're still here, you're the best, and I'll see you guys next time.